Welcome to Naperville Notables. I'm Liz Spencer, a conversation with people making an impact on our community. Joining me today is Dr. Troy Hammond from North Central College. So welcome.
Thank you, Liz.
So it seems impossible to me that you've been here 8 years, because it's been both super fast, like, oh my gosh, you just got here, and then when I think back 8 years, that's a bit of time, and so much done, so much done. You must be feeling pretty good.
We are, and looking back on it, you're right. I finished my 7th year and now into my 8th year at the institution. And when I started, the trustees had a pretty big vision of knowing that a lot could be accomplished with this wonderful institution right here in Naperville, and gave me a charge to accomplish a lot, and I think we have. And I'm excited about the progress that we've made.
That's awesome. I remember when I first met you, I remember you were on a campaign to meet 1,000 alumni.
That's right.
Yeah, I loved that. And you shook everybody's hand, you locked eyes, and you're like, I'm going to remember your name. I just remember that so well. Because you must have met all 1,000 like in the first 3 months. So it seemed like you were really moving.
Specifically, it was about 7 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I began on January 1st of 2013, and my goal was that before our winter board meetings toward the end of February, that I would have had a chance to meet 1,000 alums. And we actually counted, created a lot of events to make that possible, and accomplished that goal actually right at the board meetings in late February. And that was a fantastic way to get introduced to the community, to get introduced to our amazing alumni network, amazing people who've accomplished so much, and really to see the institution that I had just began to lead through their eyes.
Yeah, that was it. I remember thinking that was a really smart idea on your part. So let's go through this last 7 full years into your 8th. So. Yeah. Lots of infrastructure. Let's start with the big buildings, and then we'll dive into some of the more finer details that help make everything go. So,
one of the clear visions when I began was to build and improve the sciences, in particular the facilities. That took a few steps to get to. The first and significant one was to launch a capital campaign. I named it the Brilliant Future Campaign, building on the story that we had just finished our sesquicentennial, our 150th year, not too long previously. And I built on that, saying the theme at the time was that first 150 years had been a promising start. And my idea was that it was a promising start to a brilliant future. We launched that capital campaign a couple of years into my tenure to raise $150 million to advance the institution, of which we've now accomplished 70% of the goal, well over $100 million toward that goal. And part of that was to enable us to build a new science center. And we were able to break ground on that in 2015, cut the ribbon on that in 2017. It's been transformative. It's a state-of-the-art interdisciplinary science center that is really one of its kind in the Midwest. And it's really changed the campus, and it's impacted Naperville and the community significantly as well.
It has. It is a beautiful building. I think it looks as though it's been there the entire campus life, which I think is the total goal when you bring a new building into campus, is to have it blend.
It is.
And it works beautifully.
It fits right in the heart of campus.
Absolutely.
It's a center of life for the students and for the faculty. And not only were we able to accomplish that facility, but got renovating the old Science Center for a new School of Business and Entrepreneurship that in and of itself is a fantastic state-of-the-art facility, as well as a new dormitory at the south end of campus and lots of other renovations. There really was a significant investment in the facilities and the brick and mortar, if you will, of the campus in my first 7 years.
Right. Yeah. You weren't just sitting back there. That's a lot of movement. I also always love the way North Central reuses its space. And to put that business center in the old Kraler Science Center is a great use.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
And it's again a hub of activity for business and entrepreneurship, which it was a passion of mine as well. As you know, I started off in academia doing my PhD in physics, but spent a lot of time in business before I came back as the president of North Central College. And so it was a thrill for me to see those new spaces get developed. The Bloomberg Finance Lab and a lot of the meeting spaces they have for business and entrepreneurship have been transformative for those programs.
Absolutely. And so those are the big structures of that time period.
Yeah.
But you also focused much more on other things that wasn't brick and mortar, so that are equally important.
Indeed. There was no question that the first real push of my presidency was to get the facilities constructed, give our faculty we have an outstanding faculty that had been hamstrung by their space available to them, and now they had elbow room to expand what they were doing, to think about new programs, to think about how they teach. And on the heels of all of that infrastructure work, we began a really earnest effort to revitalize and put a lot of new thinking into our curriculum. That resulted in a number of things, including an entirely re-envisioned general education kind of core curriculum for our students. That included some new academic programs. That included a plan to move from our 3-term academic calendar to a semester calendar. In the process, moving from 3 to 4 credit hour courses might sound like a detail. It's actually a huge change for our faculty. And it enabled them to incorporate a lot of new ideas and experiential learning into every class that we teach. And that's now been realized. We launched that new calendar, all those changes last fall.
Yep, being one of your faculty, going from the terms to the semester, it was a little daunting to rethink things, but overall, it went much smoother than I thought it was going to go. I mean, just for myself, I'll be really honest. You got to rethink everything and expand it, but then you had more time to dive deep, and that was so welcomed.
I don't want to understate the challenge that it presented to our faculty.
Right.
For them to take on that much change in a short period of time was really significant. It required every single one of them to rethink their courses, to rethink their majors and minors as they readied themselves for this transition. But I've already heard lots of anecdotes from them about the impact and the opportunities that they have at a slower pace, an extended period of time, the semester, but also with that extra credit hour, the room to rethink how they teach different subjects and really tackle things that they've always wanted to and never had the time to before.
Right. Well, and I totally agree. That sometimes you need to go someplace and you just need a little push, and they're like, oh my gosh, why have we waited?
Right.
And I think that's a little bit, some of us are thinking, I know that was like, wow, why didn't we do this earlier? Plus, it also sets up the student to be on everybody else's schedule. So internships and extra outside opportunities are more available.
It's a really important comment, Liz, because our students were disadvantaged in the earlier with the previous calendar. We didn't finish until June. The summer opportunities, internships were constrained. And North Central College has always been so connected to the community, so connected to the businesses in our area. We've continued to expand those connections, those opportunities, and now having a calendar that syncs up with the rest of the world, if you will, giving them those internship and job opportunities for the summer is significant. That process has also enabled us to connect very intentionally with a lot of businesses who are rallying to the support of the college. I think about in the Science Center, which while we opened in 2017, we've made significant additions to that with the help of some companies in our region. We have the Harding Company Electronics Lab as part of our new engineering program. Omron, who we've had a long-standing relationship with supporting our Japanese language program, has come in and named our robotics and automation lab in the Science Center. Now Molex, the most recent ribbon cutting was for the Molex Advanced Electronics Lab. So that effort to partner and engage with businesses in the Naperville community and beyond is only growing and creating new opportunities for our students in the process.
talk to me a little bit about the health science building, why that major, how you make those decisions, how do you look?
Sure. We really feel that North Central College can be a place that is preparing the health industry and health workers of the future just right here in Naperville. And we began that now almost 2 years ago with our Master's in Occupational Therapy. As we've looked at our plan moving forward, adding a Master's of Physician Assistant Studies, a Master's, a Doctorate of Physical Therapy, so training the next generation of physical therapists, and potentially other degrees as well, we knew we needed an additional facility to house all of that exciting development. And we've made that commitment, and we'll be breaking ground very soon right on Chicago Avenue with this new building.
Well, I think that's exciting. You know, I think higher ed, is under more scrutiny than ever, and people look at college and the costs. But I also think that we forget. I'm a huge fan of the D3, the liberal arts education. I'm a journalist. That background has prepared me so well because I have I've learned a little science. I have some math. I can apply it. Where I think that the D3 liberal arts school, with our changing world, sets us up even better than we think.
I think it does, because it's that connection that our faculty make, and not just our faculty, staff, coaches, everything, something that we talk about as inspired instruction, which is really a term that came from our alums as we interviewed them about the institution, the inspired instruction that they get at North Central. That is not just about finishing their major, right? It's not just about, you might be majoring in finance or in education or in biology, whatever it might be. That rigorous, broad education that comes through that kind of an inspired instruction prepares our students for success no matter where their careers take them. And one thing about students that are graduating today, it's not about just getting that one job and that's what you're going to do for life.
Absolutely.
You have to have the soft skills, the versatile education to be able to adapt and to dodge and to weave during a course of a career where you may have 7 different mini careers during your life. And a North Central College education does that.
I absolutely agree. And I often think, I see it in my students, I see it in myself as a liberal arts graduate. You don't know when you're going to pull on that knowledge that you gained back in undergraduate and pull it forward with the next career opportunity, the next job opportunity. So I think that's why it's such a strong base for anybody to have as a liberal arts education.
And you also mentioned that D3 piece, and I should emphasize that obviously that's our NCAA athletics kind of division that we participate in. It's the true pure amateur athletics division of NCAA, where students are coming as truly student athletes, where the student part always ultimately comes first. But that athletic experience that you can get at a Division III school, and particularly one like North Central, where we have consistently nationally ranked programs across a broad range of our athletics, that's an important part of the student experience. We'll have a lot of our first-year students come with their intention to participate in one of our 27 different varsity sports, and the experience they get with coaches that, again, are committed to teaching and mentorship, not just, what's your performance in any given day in your sport. And that experience helps prepare those students for success in life as well.
Absolutely. I think the experience you have outside of the classroom is just as valuable as the knowledge you gain in the classroom. This fall you rebranded the college a little bit, so tell me about that.
We had accomplished so much that we've talked about, the facilities transformation, the curriculum and academic transformation. We felt it was time to talk to the community and talk to our alums about how they think about North Central and how we can tell the story even better, especially with all that change. And so that was a lot of market research. We spent really a year doing that, and that led to this past fall, launching a new branding campaign for North Central College. The theme of it is that we help students exceed your personal best. And we do it because students at North Central gain elevated confidence through that inspired instruction that I was talking about before. And with that, they realize direction in life. And we see that as they move out of North Central with such a tremendous success rate. And so that new branding theme, we're working hard. It's, of course, got new colors and fonts and all the wonderful things that marketing folks love to kind of fine-tune and refine. But we've, for the first time, are now putting North Central's name out there on billboards in the train stations.
Yes,
you've seen one.
Yes.
I hope you have. And that's a thing that we've just started. We're really going to do that for 2 or 3 years, both in print and in outdoor advertising, but also aggressively online as well. And so this is an exciting new opportunity for us to market the institution. And in the process, we really feel we're marketing Naperville and the community around us as well.
You absolutely are. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing a little bit about what's happened in the last 7, now into your 8th year. We appreciate your leadership. We appreciate North Central College as part of our community. It's super. So
well,
thank you so much.
Liz.
It's such a joy to talk with you.
Enjoyed it. Thanks.
We'll be right back with more Naperville Notables. Stay tuned. Welcome to Naperville Notables. I'm Liz Spencer. A conversation with people making an impact in our community. Joining me now is Coach Jeff Thorne from North Central College. Hi, Coach.
Hi, Liz. How are you?
Well, let's jump right into it. It's been a very big year for you, so congratulations.
Thank you.
It is thrilling to watch for the community, I'm sure for the school, for the nation. So, wow. When this year started, way back in August, did you have any inkling?
Yeah, the last couple of years we felt pretty strongly that we've had the ingredients to have a great team and make a great run with Brock at quarterback and a lot of experience on the offensive line and Andrew Kaminsky. We just had a lot of pieces in place and a defense that had some maturity to it. Things have to go your way. You got to stay healthy, and that was a huge part of it this year. But our guys really bought in and believed in a different way this year than in years past. But I had a pretty good idea when Rick Sturba, who's our starting right guard, he had an opportunity to come back for his 5th year. He had been injured, blew his knee out as a sophomore. And when he made that decision and said, Coach, hey, I'm going to come back, I knew right then this could be a really special year because that just kind of solidified our starting 5 up front, and that's where it's got to start. If you're really good at the line of scrimmage, then you got a chance. So we felt really strongly this could be a team that could make a deep run. That's
awesome because you've had a very impressive record, and you've gone deep before.
Yeah, 2013 was a fun run when my dad as the head coach. That was definitely a fun run.
Right, yeah, in the snow and everything.
Yep.
I like to call it the Snow Bowl.
The Snow Bowl.
The Snow Bowl. What does it mean for you to finally get the championship? You were with your dad. You've been working at this. The school's been working at it for a long time. Yeah, it was a dream fulfilled. Honestly, it's and not my dream. That's what made it so exciting. It became my dream, but it was my dad's dream first. And when he took the program over in 2002. After such a long career and tons of success as a high school coach winning state championships, North Central hadn't experienced a lot of winning before he got here in 2002. And for him to take the job over when everybody told him don't, and just really make the proclamation that we're going to plug our philosophy in and we're going to win. And the goal was a national championship. The mission was to change lives and really impact young men, but the goal was always to win a national championship. And so when he retired, having come so close in 2013, that was just something that I thought would be really neat to be able to complete for him and for my mom. My mom's been battling cancer for 9 years now, and to be able to do this while she's still here was really special for our family, but more importantly for North Central College and all the administrators and coaches and family and friends of the program that have been waiting a long time for something special like this. It was just really neat to be able to get that done. That's awesome. You talk about a philosophy. I've always admired the philosophy when I've talked with your dad about it, when I've talked to you about it. Tell our viewers a little bit what it is, and then let's talk a little bit more about it.
Well, it's really not complicated, honestly. There's, a lot of character traits and virtues that encapsulate the philosophy. But at the end of the day, it's just really, what are you going to do to help someone else better their situation? And my father always put the well-being of his athletes ahead of winning and losing, and helping them as people, growing in the areas of, your intellect, your spiritually, your socially, certainly emotionally, the all-encompassing approach of helping young men figure out what manhood looks like in a world that can be kind of confusing right now. So that's really at the heart of it, and we've tried to make sure that we stay on that path, and we always will, because I think that's the most important thing, is to make sure these young men are growing and becoming, guys that'll be equipped to be great husbands and fathers and employees and leaders in their community when they graduate.
Well, I think that sums it up really. I think what we hope for a college experience. I feel like 18 to 22 is so pivotal, and in a college like North Central, where you have coaches and you have faculty members and administrators and everybody looking out for your well-being to help you kind of figure out who you are. I think that's so important and sets the role, and why colleges, liberal arts colleges, are so important.
Right. Our student athletes have an opportunity to get to know their professors being in a small class environment, and I think that's pivotal because so many of our professors have prior experience in the fields that they teach, so they bring a vast network of people that can help our students find jobs, and you just have a personal touch. It's really an intimate, very personal community that North Central is.
It is. I think being a part of a team, being an athlete, gives you some structure to college too, especially coming in as a freshman. You're a little college is a little unstructured compared to the high school world.
Right.
And so when you have some athlete, when you're an athlete, you've got that structure. It helps you so much to be successful. Tell me a little bit about the guys that you have coached.
Oh, geez, how much time do we have?
Yeah, well, I'll try to keep you near a day.
They're special people.
Right.
They're driven. They want to be more than average, and that flies in the face of conventional wisdom right now. When you look at society in general right now, and many of the arguments that we have societally is, everybody should get a trophy and just participation kind of things, and I don't necessarily buy into that. I don't at all buy into that. And our guys are coming to us wanting more than average. They want to be uncommon. They want to work hard in the classroom and be great students. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and at the end of the day, that's a great precursor to success in life when you can give yourself up for the betterment of somebody else. It's amazing how that comes back around, and good things can be in your future if you decide to live a life with that kind of mindset.
And was that the philosophy that your dad shared with you, and when you were growing up, did you feel that?
Yeah, I've been around football my whole life and been around. Yeah. He coached. He didn't just coach football. He coached basketball, coached baseball. So I've been around a coach my whole life, and my mom's a really driven woman as well. But their model of what giving yourself up looks like is really what developed my own philosophy, and then having the chance to coach for my dad. The great teams are those who they don't think about themselves. They accept their role, whatever that might be. And so that's just something that's always held true in our program. And it's not something that, honestly, that we have to preach that hard on, because it's just embedded into what's been built by my father and our coaching staff continuing to really make sure that we're paying attention to. I sat in the post-game interview with our players, and it was Andrew and Brock and Ethan Greenfield, and it was so rewarding to listen to them talk, because none of them accepted an ounce of praise. They just kept deflecting it to everybody else. And I just stopped the meeting and said, do you understand how easy my job is? Can you believe this? Can you imagine getting to coach a group like this? And that's what it's been like, for many, many years, just young men that genuinely care about each other, genuinely love each other. And it really makes coaching a ton of fun, but it makes it, it's a lot easier when you got guys like that aren't really worried about their own statistics and how many touches they get and being the superstar. It makes a lot of fun, and you can win a lot of games with teams that are of that mindset.
And when you think about that philosophy in your team, is that the bedrock that helps? Teams are hard to keep together and to be successful. You could bring the same people back next year, but that doesn't guarantee a championship.
Yeah. They have to trust each other. The guys got to trust each other, and we talk all the time about trust being built through shared experience, and there's different levels of types of experience. The more difficult, the higher level the level of trust goes, but I think at the very foundation of trust is knowing each other. If you don't know somebody, it's hard to trust them. So I think we spend an inordinate amount of time in our program making sure our guys have opportunities to genuinely learn about one another, about their background, where are you from, and what kind of life experience do you have, what tragedies or adversities maybe have you had to deal with. And when all of a sudden you uncover those things, you see the world differently, and you also see your teammates differently. And that really has had a lot to do with why our team is, truly one team that is always pulling for each other.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So you have a son that plays football?
Yeah.
Yeah, and where is he now, and how have you have not coached him directly? He's not at North Central. He's off, I think it's at MSU, right?
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Right.
How's that experience been?
It's been a blast. I miss him. I miss him a lot. I've got a wife and 2 young girls too, a junior at Naperville Central, and my youngest is an 8th grader at Lincoln. So they're keeping us plenty busy, and it's been a lot of fun being around them. But Peyton being away and not being able to see him play was a challenge. Now he didn't play this year. He was redshirted, but yet still dressing for games and being on the field for pregame. I was able to get to 3 games, the Pinstripe Bowl and 2 other ones. So it's a thrill to see your child living out their chase the lion dream. And that was something that he wanted to pursue, and I fully support his decision, and I'll be there for him as often as I can be. I've got my own job to take care of and make sure we continue to do the things that we set out to do. But it's been a lot of fun being a part of his journey because it hasn't been easy. And our relationship has actually gotten even stronger than it was before he left, and it was pretty special before. So it's been a lot of fun and really rewarding as a father.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit, you mentioned the word lion in there, Lion's Dream. Where does that come from? What does that mean?
Chase the Lion is a book that I read 2 years ago, and it really has been the foundation of our last 2 seasons. It's just really about chasing big dreams. We call them lion-sized dreams, and in essence what that means is just a God-sized dream, and it's scriptural. The book is based off of 2 Samuel 23:20, and the last sentence of the scripture, it's about a biblical guy by the name of Benaiah, and he's only mentioned once, but the last sentence says, another time on a snowy day he chased a lion into a pit and killed it, and so that was kind of the springboard for his dreams coming true and becoming King David's right-hand man. And so the book chronicles all these regular people like you and me who have done extraordinary things, dreaming big, and then allowing God to be a part of that dream. And because God says when we dream big, he'll be there. When we dream small, he doesn't need to get involved because we've got our own talents and resources can achieve those things. So lion-sized dreams are just big dreams that without God's intervention wouldn't happen.
Was the championship a lion-sized dream?
Without a doubt. You think back to 2002 when my dad said, hey, we're going to win a national championship here. He had 3 three full-time coaches. We have 5 now. We have 2 GAs now. He had none. They hadn't won in 15 years. That was a massive, massive dream, and God has been involved in it from day one. His hand has been on our program. He continues to be. It's a part of what we do. Faith is important to us, and we talk about it. But yeah, it's without a doubt that lion-sized dream would never have taken place without God's help.
What's the next lion-sized dream? Do you know yet? Or are you thinking about it?
Do it again. I mean, we want to do it again. Now, is that a lion-sized dream? We have the talent, we have the resources, and things in place to do that again. So, to establish a program where that's the expectation now, where we get back there and we do it again. And you use Mount Union as the model and look at how many years in a row they were able to be in the semifinals and how many national championships they have. That would be the closest thing from a football standpoint of a lion-sized goal for Cardinal football.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we continue to impact lives. That's first and foremost. And if we continue to do that, I'm confident that the winning will continue to follow. And whether that means a national championship again or not, that's okay if it's not. I think it can happen again, though.
Well, we hope it does. But I applaud North Central and I applaud you for recognizing the student first and the man or woman athlete or student first.
Yeah.
We're going to go on and graduate college and do great things and may or may not be with athletes or with athletics, but with that philosophy, they're going to be great.
Yeah, the reality is if we don't do that, then we shouldn't have the title coach. That's embedded into the word coach, is that you better be in it for helping young people figure out what they want to do with their lives and how they're going to make a difference, because the narrative in our country needs to change. The narrative in our world needs to change. And if we can give them an experience in something as small as Cardinal football, where everybody looks past differences and embraces differences, maybe that might start to change the narrative when they graduate and start making an impact on the worlds that are around them. I think you can change people or change the world one person at a time.
I totally agree, and you are giving everybody a great start. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to chat with me. I really appreciate it, and we wish you continued success. Go Cards.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
No problem. We'll be right back with more Naperville Notables. Stay tuned.